Rahim. Assalamu alaikum. My name is Shafiq Ahmed. I am from Sindh University campus Ladkana from the Department of Business Administration. I have been assigned to present a presentation in behalf of semester examination due to worse and critical situation of COVID-19. I am supervised by Sir Farhan Ali Suraiya Saab in the course of Information Computer Technology, and I am asked to present on three topics from the course. So here I have chosen these three topics: how computer process data, how keyboard works, and the third one is the bus. I will explain these three topics with their subtopics respectively. So let's start. There are the outlines of my first presentation topic: how computer process data, the CPU, machine cycle, and the memory. So let's start from the CPU. What is CPU? Computer process through two components, CPU and memory. Both are located on motherboard. Central processing unit is abbreviated as CPU. CPU is actually a tiny chip located on motherboard. It is also called the brain of computer, where the data manipulated. In microcomputers there is only one chip, one CPU, but in large computer systems like supercomputer, mainframe computer are handled by multiple processing chips. Few of them use hundreds or even thousands of separate processing units. Every CPU at least has two basic parts. Number one, the control unit. Second one is the arithmetic logic unit. Number one, the control unit, a component that receives signals or information and instructions from the user and converts into signals or execution in the CPU. It controls and directs the main memory, arithmetic and logic unit, input and output devices, and also responsible for the instructions that sends to the CPU. Here are the main functions of control unit. It interprets the instruction, control the flow of data. It generates the sequence of control signals from instruction registers. It has the ability to fetch, decode and execute. The arithmetic logic unit, ALU, it carries out mathematical operations in the CPU. There are two types of operations: arithmetic operations and logical operations. Arithmetic operations. Arithmetic operations process addition, subtraction, multiplication and division. The logic unit includes comparisons such as equal to, greater than, less than, and there is also opposite of every logical operation like equal to, there is not equal to. ALU also include group of registers. ALU use registers to the data currently being used for a calculation. Here I have completed the first subtopic, and next is machine cycle. Machine cycle is a cycle where all the completed steps of instruction received by CPU. Each time machine cycle is divided into smaller cycles. Number one is instruction cycle and second one is executing cycle. During instruction cycle, CPU takes two steps. Number one, it fetch. The control unit receives command or data from computer's memory before CPU can execute and instruction. Number second is decoding. In this step, instructions are decoded by the processor means what instructions came to memory from registers and processor process them or decode them. Then the processor process or decode them. Then the processor starts from performance calculation. Then process called decoding. In the second executing cycle, the last phase is the executing cycle. In this phase, the processor execute the instructions, means what instructions we gave to processor run them or execute them. For example, we command computer 2 plus 2. The processor gave answer in 4. The third subtopic is memory. Memory is a physical device that used to read, write or store data or information while they being used. There are two types of memory: permanent memory and non-permanent memory. The permanent memory that can hold data even if the system off. This type of memory is called non-volatile. And the second is non-permanent memory that can lost their content when the computer turned off, and their type of memory is called volatile memory. Number 1, non-volatile memory. This chip can hold the data of information even if the computer is turned off. That type of memory is called ROM, usually abbreviated random access memory. ROM contains a set of startup instructions called the basic input-output system BIOS. In addition to booting the machine, it contains another set of routine which ensure that all operations are functioning properly, and this routine is called power on self-test post. Flash memory is a common type of non-volatile memory. Flash memory is especially type of non-volatile memory. It is often used with portable digital devices for storage, for example USB, digital camera, portable MP3 player and keychains. These all use flash memory. The second type of memory is volatile memory. Volatile memory is a non-permanent memory called RAM, usually abbreviated random access memory. It requires power to hold or store data. CPU uses a memory address to store and retrieve each piece of data in the computer. Memory address is a number that indicates a location on the memory chip. Here I have completed my first presentation topic. Let's move to the second topic, that is how keyboard works. There are outlines. What is keyboard? Process of getting input from the keyboard. What is keyboard? Keyboard is one of the first peripheral device that used with computer. It is a primary input device for entering text. And standard keyboard consists of 100 keys, and each key sends different signal to the CPU. Process of getting input from the keyboard. It has an accurate and specific process of getting input from the keyboard. We usually think this is a simple process of getting input from the keyboard, but actually it is a complex process. It works in 5 steps. Number 1, user press the key. Second, the small chip called keyboard controller notes that a key has been pressed. Then it holds the code into part of its memory called keyboard buffer. Keyboard buffer is the third step where the signal which key has been pressed. Actually, a keyboard buffer is a temporary storage or that holds data until it can be processed. Number 4 step is when the keyboard controller sends code to the system software. Software is a fifth step where the system software notify that something has happened at the keyboard. When system software receives a signal from keyboard controller, then it responds appropriately. When a keystroke occurred, the system reads the memory location in the keyboard buffer that has gold the code, send the code of that has pressed the system software, then sends a code to the CPU, and we see the output on the screen. This all happens very quickly despite the computer is busy in handling multiple tasks. You notice not delay between pressing keys, and you see the letters and numbers on the screen. This all process happens very quickly. Suddenly when we press any key, we see the result on the screen. So this was completed my second presentation topic, and let's move to the third topic of my semester presentation, third and last one, which is the bus. Here are the outlines of the bus topic. What is bus, types of bus, and external bus standards. What is a bus? The bus is an electronic pathway between computer components. There are two types of the bus: internal bus and external bus. Internal bus, we also called it system bus. The system bus is located on the motherboard and connects the CPU to other devices that are located on motherboard, like RAM to CPU, ROM to CPU, and other devices. The external bus. The external bus, we also called it expansion bus. The expansion bus connects external devices like mouse, keyboard, modem, printer, etc. to the CPU. All the cables are plugged into the bus. The system bus has two types of data bus and address bus. The data bus, a group of parallel wires that are connected with CPU, memory, and other hardware devices. On the motherboard, the wires on the bus can affect the speed at which data can travel on hardware components. For example, on a heavy traffic, the highway affect the speed of traveler to reach the destination. Each wire can transfer to have a destiny of traveler to reach the destiny. Each wire can transfer bit of data at a time, and 8-wire bus can move 8 wires at a time, and 16-bit bus can move 2 bytes of data, and 32 bus can move 4 bytes, and the latest model of computer is 64-bit, can move 8 bytes of the data at a time. The bus measures in the megahertz. Second part of external bus is the address bus. Address bus only connects CPU and RAM. Each byte in the RAM associated with a number which is its memory address. The external bus standards primarily connects peripheral and or external devices like monitor, keyboard, mouse, or storage devices. Universal Serial Bus USB, PCI, and IEEE 1994 are common examples of external buses. Number 1 is Industrial Standard Architecture ISA. Is a 16-bit data bus reached in mid of It is used to attach slower devices such as modem and other input devices to the CPU. The local bus. It developed to attach faster devices to the CPU. It is an internal bus runs between components on the motherboard. Number 4 is the peripheral component interconnect PCI bus. PCI bus is a common type of local bus designed by Intel to make it easier to integrate to new data like audio, video and graphics. The accelerated graphic port AGP. It increases the speed of graphics performance. It connects all type of video cards to motherboard that support 3D and full motion videos. Universal serial bus. It is a new type of bus that found in all modem machines. USB can disconnected any time without affecting the machine. It allows up to 127 devices like camera, printers, scanner and flash type of external devices. This is hot swappable, means can be removable anytime without affecting the machine. PC cards. These cards used in laptop computers. Common use of PC cards include Wi-Fi cards, network cards and external modem. PC cards is extension of an internal PCI bus. So here I have completed my all 3 presentation topics, and I am thankful to you, and a special thanks to Mr. Farhan Ali Surayo, who is my supervisor. He gave me this opportunity that I have uploaded my work on this type of platform, which is a globally recognized platform. So again, thanks to Mr. Farhan Ali Surayo, who gave me this opportunity. Thank you very much.